Find a comfortable position to sit in where you can be alert but relaxed. This is going to be a long inquiry, so allow yourself to settle in and really be present. Take a few slow, deep breaths and feel the body giving in to gravity, sinking into your seat, but still remaining awake and aware. Now bring to mind something that you feel you really want in life. This could be a big thing like a new house, or a small thing like a chocolate truffle. It might be a lifelong goal that has been driving your actions in pursuit of it for decades, or it could be a new temporary urge. No matter what it is, a yacht or a bowl of ice cream, do you see that underneath it there is an inherent belief that when you get it, life will be better than it currently is? As you know by now, this is just the mind driven ego game. It always holds a promise in the future, and the want you have right now is just the latest diversion. But it's one thing to know this intellectually, and it's another to inquire about it and look into all the underlying motivations for that diversion. So let's do that now. Take a few moments thinking about this object of your desire and get really specific about what you think will happen when you get this thing. Spend a few moments fantasizing about exactly how your life will improve when you have it. Don't stay vague like, I'll finally be happy. Be specific and go big. What exactly will change? Do you want the house so you will feel a sense of security? And does that sense of security seem to be lacking right now? Do you want the yacht so you can host parties so you won't feel as alone as you seem to feel right now? I want you to be as honest with yourself as you can. What is it that you are experiencing right now that could be massively improved once what you want really happens? Notice how your mind almost seems to get uplifted when you think about your want. Any sadness is exchanged with joy. Any restlessness is exchanged with calm. Any tension or resistance is vanished and your mind is uplifted and in flow. Do you have that sense of uplifted mind? Do you have a sense of what the want motivation is? Good. Let's continue. Now, I want you to imagine that you have the thing that you want. Whatever it is, it's finally in your possession. It is yours. It is now a part of your life. How does that make you feel right now? What is the first thing that comes up? Feel into the body and really experience it like it's fully real right now. Let your mind imagine the most uplifting scenario. So taste the truffle, tour the house, drive the car. Be fully present in that experience. And I want you to notice what feels different. I know that you feel that something has changed, but where do you feel it? Can you feel it in the body? Is it in the mind? Do you feel lighter, happier, uplifted, less burdened, less lonely, more connected, less sad? Do you have more energy? After all, that's the goal of having a want and getting this thing. So notice, has something changed in a profound way in your mind? Notice that regardless of what was there to begin with, do you now feel uplifted and lighter? Does it almost seem like life has a future promise to it? Something bigger and better is in store for you? Do you feel motivated to go forward with your plans and your want? Does it feel like this want is the big one? The one that once you have it, it will end all suffering and all future wants? Is the add on to this want even so big that it might even leave you without ever wanting something again? Breathe. And now come back to the present moment where you don't really have the house, the yacht, or the truffle. I want you to feel into the body. What has changed? Do you feel a slight disappointment? Is there something here that was gone when you were fantasizing about the future? If you really feel into it, is there an underlying feeling of unease or maybe even discontentment with what is here right now? If that is the case, what feelings come up when you hear these words? This is as good as it is ever going to get. Nothing will ever change or improve from this very moment. Once more, this is as good as it is ever going to get. Nothing will ever change or improve from this very moment. Stay here. Is there pain here? Is there sadness? Are you uncomfortable in any way? Do you see that with the want, you created a perceived reality wherein striving for an external pleasure, satisfaction, contentment, and bliss, you removed yourself from what is present right now? Because the imaginary bliss feels so much better than reality, we tend to escape into our mind's paradise and get attached to the fictitious bliss. Fantasy is so much better than reality. But stay here a bit longer. Do you see that not a single amazing thing happening in reality will ever be able to compete with the fictitious bliss? The reason is that, in reality, impermanence is a natural part of the enjoyment. Everything you get will be lost. Everything you feel will evaporate. Everything blissful will be exchanged with anguish. It is part of life. But in our mind-created paradise, that never happens. And that is why we cling so fiercely to wants in the fourth fetter. So stay here in reality a bit longer with me, even though it might be unbearable, and you might even have parts of you that really refuse to be here. Do you contract and wince and fight against the possibility that this really is the life that you are going to live forever? Do you feel a contraction with the thought, this is as good as it's ever going to get, nothing will ever change or improve from this very moment? Or does a part of you relax and expand at the recognition from some deeper knowing that this is actually the way things are and that it's absolutely okay? If that is the case, stay there. We will pick up from here in a moment. If, however, you're still locked in a resisting contraction, just know that's perfectly fine. Let's explore this deeper. I would like for you to feel all of the ickiness that is there. What exactly is it in this moment that absolutely needs to change for you to be okay with being alive in the life that you have? Again, what is it in this moment that absolutely needs to change for you to be okay living the life that you currently have? Also, look into what cannot be here for you to accept that this is how life will always be. Again, I want you to look into what cannot be here for you to accept that this is how life will always be. Take a deep breath. Keep your eyes closed, and in your mind's eye, look around you. Where are you? What is your age? Now, feeling into the body again, ask yourself, what does this feeling or resistance or contraction resemble? Does it feel familiar? Like maybe it's come up at certain points in your life? Does it have an emotional label that it is frequently paired with? Maybe fear or shame or guilt or anger? Flood all of your attention into the body. Just as it is, what is the actual experience of sensation in the body? Don't allow any judgments or labels to stick onto the sensations. Keep the sensations clear of all of that. What is simply there right now? Did you notice that the contraction went away when you were fantasizing about having the wants? Did the contraction come right back when you returned to the present? Now I want you to go back to the mind paradise where you have the object of your desire. But before you do, I really want you to take note of the contraction or the feeling of unease that is here now, and then see if it fully goes away again when you imagine and fantasize about driving the car or throwing a huge party in your new house. So now go into that mind paradise again. Go ahead and imagine that you have won the lottery or whatever your fantasy want is. If you feel into your body, is the uncomfortable sensation actually fully gone? Or is there some of the resistance or restlessness still bubbling away underneath the surface of your happy distraction? This next one is a very important question for you. How are the sensations in the body connected with the wants or cravings of the mind? Can you find a link at all? Again, how are the sensations in the body connected with the wanting or craving of the mind? Does getting what we want influence these underlying beliefs about our current situation in any way? Does it do anything but just distract us from the underlying beliefs that are always there? If you really want a Tesla, for example, be honest about what your motivation is for getting that Tesla. See if there are any threads about wanting to project an image of how environmentally friendly you are to your neighbors, family, and friends. That thread can be a deflection from a deep and unfelt feeling of shame. Or see if the motivation comes from an undercurrent of fear, which has been externally projected as a fear that the world is on fire and that you need to do everything possible to make it safe so that you can finally relax. Of course, it's great to drive a Tesla. It's great to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. None of that's in question. The issue is our motivation for doing what we do, even the right things that we do. So, do you notice that the cravings and the wants are there primarily to create a sense of distance from the underlying belief that we aren't comfortable acknowledging is there? The promise is that if we buy a Tesla, we'll never have to feel that deep feeling of shame or fear that has been a part of the body for as long as you can remember. But here's the crux of the issue with all of our fantasy wants. A want is nothing but a thought. A want is only a thought that promises that something will be different in an imagined future. However, that promise of what will be different is a very valuable clue as to what your underlying beliefs are and which diversions you are using to distract yourself with. It's a very clear indication to what your toxic starting point is and how you actually view yourself. So again, this is a time for honesty. What are you trying to escape from in your daily life? Do you have a sense of what part of you is being dismissed or rejected yet again? Can you hold space for that part? Can you acknowledge its presence and just stay with it? Don't attempt to change it. Can you be in a body that has space for all of the fear, anger, guilt, or shame that lies underneath the surface? Can you stay with it for as long as it is there? Create love and compassion to the person that needs to divert from life with fantasy and idolized daydreams. Breathe. Now come back to your awareness in your body, no matter how uncomfortable it is to be here. See if you can stay here with what is in this moment, right now. See if you can remove all wants and any idealized idea about how the future can be any better than right now. And just stay with what is here in this moment. Can you start to open up to the contentment in what is right now, no matter what it is? Can you see it as a beautiful part of reality that is everything at the same time? So, for instance, the joy can only be joy in comparison with sadness and loss. When we lock ourselves into a one dimensional future where everything becomes as we want, we tend to forget all of the useful experiences that we've just removed. Embrace the diversity of reality. Everything is present at the same time, which also means that all fear, anger, guilt, and shame is here with a healthy counterpart intrinsic in it. Remind yourself that I am this too. As you see, it doesn't matter what it is. It is there, so you are it, and it is perfectly okay. The first thing we do is to accept all of our parts, everything, even the ones we've spent years denying and hiding underneath the floorboards. We only hid them because we did not have the capacity to see the benefit of getting in contact with fear, anger, guilt, and shame. We did not know how to manage and handle it, but you do now. Doing the awakening curriculum and doing this inquiry is a clear sign that you have the capacity to face everything as it is without adding or removing anything. Now that you have a sense of it and see that you can sit with it and allow it to be there, I would like for you to go one step further than just accepting it. Can you also love it? There is a difference in accepting and enduring what is, and then fully embracing what is by loving what is. By loving what is, you allow reality to be as it is without holding any wish for it to change or be any different. You know that exactly how it is how it is supposed to be for you to develop and attain your freedom in exactly this area, in exactly this manner. If it were any different, you would be missing an opportunity. So, can you love reality as it is with everything it displays right now? And can you go one step further and even say, I love you to yourself and hold yourself in your mind like you would hold your own baby? Reality as it is right now is here for you as you. If it wasn't here as it is right now, you would never become aware of the part that has been dismissed and in need of attention for so long. So see if you can feel love and maybe even gratitude for reality as it is. The next step in the process would be to get some added perspective from these sensations. Just like we can easily see the exit of a maze when viewed from above, we can take this fifth floor view that you have right now to look down on the sensations without an emotional engagement, but simply just observe what is going on. Note that we're not bypassing or distracting from them like we were when we were fantasizing about how much better something would be. Instead, we are staying here in reality, viewing exactly what is here right now. We just look and experience without the hooks of identification and attachment. So sit a bit now and feel the fear, the shame, and whatever else has been festering in you for so long. And then remove the labels. Remove the judgment and the pushback against it. Remove the attachment and cravings towards it. Simply see reality for what it is. Note the raw sensation with a whole plethora of thoughts in the form of stories, judgments, resistance patterns, and so on. And then remain in this space of dispassionate yet loving acceptance for as long as is needed. Enjoy.